Hey guys, what's good? I'm Kryssy and welcome back. As you can tell by the title, this is a day in the life. It's a little bit different day in the life, but nonetheless it's a day in the life. So, I was kicked in the head by a patient and I'm going to tell you guys all about it. So, before I get into it, make sure you're subscribed, like this video, and let's get into it. I definitely want to start off by saying, like, for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to work in healthcare. I've always wanted to be a nurse. I've taken my levels of, I want to be a doctor, gynecologist, pediatric, gynecologist. I'll just be a nurse. I've definitely have thought about this and it's something that I want to do. Plus, family and family friends who work in healthcare, like I've been so influenced by them and just by like that desire. So I knew at a young age that that's something that I wanted to do. Right now, I am a nursing student, and last year in 2020, I did get my certified nursing assistant certification, and ever since then, I have been working in the hospital. And of course, becoming a CNA, I knew it was going to be hard, but COVID made it so much harder. Harder than, of course, what I was expecting being a new CNA. Being a new CNA in the hospital, because I have been a CNA before, like home health care and other stuff like that. So it's not my first time being a CNA, but this is my first time working in a hospital. So, totally different. Totally different. I want to share my experience, but this isn't to encourage or discourage anybody, but this is just something that happened to me, and I almost didn't talk about this because being a CNA is hard, and being a doctor is hard, being a nurse is hard, being all of those things, it's hard. But just like when you're starting out, just like when you're there at that level, it's hard. And I just don't think that CNAs get a whole lot of recognition. There's, that's their job. They know what they signed up for. Or there's the, well, hey, I'm a nurse or I'm a doctor, whatever. I went to school, I got my certification, blah, 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 blah. There's all these things, but it's hard. So I just want to share my experience. Like I said, not to encourage, discourage, but just to share what happened to me. So it was just another day. I had walked into work and I was assigned my patient, and I'm a sitter. And basically a sitter, you're sitting with the patient your whole shift. Of course you get to take a break, but depending on their level of care is what you abide by. It's what you do with them. Immediately, the patient was just very confused, and I had to keep calling for help just to get the patient to stay in bed. I just needed reinforcement because I'm not going to overexhaust myself. Neither am I going to do more than what I'm allowed to. You know what I mean? It's just if I've done what I can and the patient is getting more out of control, and asking for help is my next step, then that's what I'll do. So I was asking for help, and it got to a point where the nurse had asked me to hold the patient so she can administer the medicine, and then all of a sudden, boom. I heard everybody else scream, but for me it was like, what the fuck? And then as she was just moments later, I took my hands off and I was like, you know what? I gotta go. Eventually I went down to emergency room, and then I went home, and I was put on modified duty, but on modified duty, I just had so much anxiety, so much fear. Like something was just like there was this daunting fear over me, and just I just felt like at one point I just felt like people higher up weren't listening to me in my job. Just listen to me. This is how I'm feeling. I need more help. And finally I got more help. I went to therapy, and I'm just so thankful. I'm so thankful that I had therapy and that I was talking to my therapist and that she helped me, you know, get to this point. And I'm really thankful for my family and for my friends and those who just like really helped me and stood beside me and, you know, encouraged me through this time, and those who just let me know that they were there. But now it's time to go back to work. And I wanted to make this because not just for myself, and like I said, you know, because there's other CNAs and other people who need this. But, you know, I want to create content. You know, I want to talk about, you know, more day in the lives about being a CNA, and, you know, talk about my journey in school. And I just also didn't think it would be fair just for myself, or, you know, just for anybody who cares, you know, that, hey, you know, I noticed that you didn't talk about it for a while. What happened? I mean, but even just for me, that me wanting to be a nurse is important, and that I'm glad I was able to work through these things. But believe, like, I'm scared, you know, when I go back to work. I'm not scared. It's just, you know, I'm anxious. I'm nervous. You know, I'm going back to work, and I just really hope that I can bring you guys along with me through this journey of going back to work, and not really start over, but kind of just, you know, start fresh. I'm happy I went to therapy as well, because I feel like I can do this video, and it's not necessarily move on, because it's always going to be there, and this is something I'm still working through. But you guys can be along with me along the journey, because this is about learning, growing, and glowing. And I just want you guys to grow with me as I get through this and go back to work and keep growing in my career of being a nurse. And yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. And this almost did stop me. It almost did, but I'm so glad that it didn't. I'm so thankful that God has really just renewed something in my heart that is like, no, this is something that you want. And, you know, sometimes, and like I said in the beginning, when you start doing something, it'll determine whether, you know, you will like the job or not. I like my job. I don't like everything about it, but it's something that I want to do. So yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure you're subscribed. Deuces.